don't they have to actually prove that those people are who they say they are and that they've carried out those acts of those criminal acts?
Well, we know they're violent people because...
How do we know?
Because their records have already been pulled.
Over on CNN, Scott Jennings, this guy, just by being not completely insane, has taken over the entire network. He sits on this panel show with this woman, Abby Phillips, who we were discussing her before the show. A lot of these people on television, they're morons or they're evil or they're racist or she just doesn't seem that bright. She seems like a nice lady. Phoenix wants to go out for a drink with her, but she just doesn't seem that bright when she's doing this. And maybe that's why they gave her the show anyway. So Scott Jennings sits down with her and usually a bunch of leftists who are hysterical, and he just kind of tells them the truth and they just sit there and listen. It's nice in some sense, I suppose.
Don't they have to actually prove that those people are who they say they are and that they've carried out those acts of those criminal acts?
Well, we know they're violent people because...
How do we know?
Because their records have already been pulled. I mean, these people were violent.
I think that the court,
from where they came from, and now they're here illegally. So
one of the things that happened in court
who
today,
they are? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Have
one
they
of the
even
things
given us
that
their
happened
identity?
in the court today is that the lawyers for the government couldn't say really who these people were.
And interesting enough, what they tried to use is they said, "Oh, we're looking at some of their tattoos, which means they have a gang affiliation, so they can be deported." It's a slippery slope that we don't want to open up.
But they're illegal
immigrants,
immigrants,
that's why we have
right?
a process for everything.
But they're illegal immigrants, yes?
So
well, actually, again,
we don't know
the state of affairs.
They're saying they're bad people, so they can get out of here.
It would be fine if we knew that, but we don't know.
The quotas is all fun until the rabbit has the gun, right? What if somebody turns that on one of us or anybody
we're citizens.
else?
They're not citizens.
It really is incredible what's going on over there. Do you see? It's just over and over. Why do you people not care about citizens of the United States? If you are here illegally, you have already broken the law. I know they don't believe that, right? We played you that clip the other day of Jasmine Crockett, that wizard, saying that they somehow being here illegally is not illegal, but it is. And so even there is no evidence whatsoever. The other guy that he was talking to goes, "We don't know that," meaning he goes, Scott Jennings says, "They're illegal, aren't they?" He goes, "We don't know that." There is no evidence whatsoever anywhere, please correct me if I'm wrong, that we have deported anyone who is a legal citizen of the United States. There is nobody that we grabbed that was like, "Here's my license, I was born in Passaic, New Jersey," and that we booted them out of the country, right? So they're whittling this down to a bunch of people who are criminals in the first place because they're here illegally, and then what they're really arguing about is the level of criminality. Well, maybe they had the Tren de Aragua tattoo, maybe they set someone on fire, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they just stabbed somebody. They must be a great person. It continued over there on CNN. Here's Representative Adriano Espaillat saying that, yes, they're gonna come for the citizens next.
But there's people who are here.
The state of affairs in America is one that citizens are being stopped and questioned. I met with a U.S. citizen who was stopped at a subway station, questioned by ICE, detained for 3 hours. This is the state of affairs in America. So it's not necessarily about who's on that plane who may have a criminal record. We don't know their names, their first names and last name. But it is really about those that are not on the plane that could find themselves one day on a plane.
You all are conflating different groups of people. U.S. citizens are different than non-citizens, and people here under certain status are much different than people who came here illegally, particularly if you came here illegally and you were violent where you came from. And I think the Trump administration, frankly, has a political and maybe even a legal mandate to exit from the country violent, illegal aliens who are in this country.
Again, it's just great. It's just him versus everybody, and he just sits there and does it. It would be nice if they just gave him a little sidekick. Like he could have like a little guy next to him, like what's his name, Tattoo on Fantasy Island, just sitting there next to him, being like, he's right.